Hey everyone, Agnach here. Welcome to another video. On today's video, I'm bringing you a crazy army that has helped me reach the #1 position in Australia in Legends League. And the best part about it is that it is a very easy army to use. This is not only spam, but it is super spam. The army I like using the most is this one with 10 super giants, 15 witches, 10 lightning spells, 2 earthquake, a freeze, and in the wall breaker I bring a Pekka, a nice golem, and a giant. However, if you don't have super giants activated, do not worry. This is another version I use with 4 normal giants, 3 Pekkas. At the time I had super wall breakers activated, so I also brought a couple of them just for good luck. This version might get even stronger with the new update as Pekkas get a new level, and with the extra 20 camp spaces you'll be able to bring one more Pekka if you drop one of the giants. I also use this army in CWL, so let's watch that attack first and I'll explain how to use it. Okay, so here's my first attack. So I used 5 lightning spells and an earthquake to get rid of the cannon, the 2 expos, and the scatter shot. Since this base is symmetrical, I do the same thing on the other side. So that was a lot of value from the lightning spells and the earthquakes. Then I put a giant with 2 witches at 9 o'clock, another giant and 2 witches at 6, just to create a little bit of a funnel. You don't have to give them a lot of time, just a little bit of time just to deal some of that defenses. Then you put a line of super giants with the line of witches, the wall wrecker, and the heroes in the center going towards the tank hall. The royal champ, you can just keep her back and see where she can best be used. On this occasion I sent her from like 6 o'clock just to get rid of some of the defenses and help some of the witches that went on the side there. And then you just let your army go in pretty much. Now with a free spell as well, you can use it either for a single inferno targeting your royal champion if you think that she's gonna be getting a lot more value, or let's say a single is targeting your king, so you can use that freeze on the single. But what I use it the most, that free spell, is on the town hall. A lot of the time you will see that a lot of the witches are trying to hit the town hall, and if the town hall is activated and there's no heroes like a queen or something hitting the town hall quickly, your witches will be getting roasted. So if you have that free spell, I will use it there to save the witches. Now also, as you can see, the ice golem from the wall wrecker is really good because it freezes that town hall and pretty much it creates the same effect. And then you just let them go. So basically one of the things that I like looking to use this army on a base is lots of value to get rid of the scatter shots from the 10 saps and the 2 earthquakes. As you can tell, that's 12 spell spaces, so you really want to get a bit of value from that. Then also all of these bases with open walls just make witches so much stronger, which is why I think they've gotten a lot stronger. Now this is my Legend League attack, so I'm just using the saps. Also you can just get really creative with the saps. Obviously the clan castle only takes 7 lightning spells and an earthquake, so you can just put 5 on one side, 2 on the other, and then 3 on the other, as I did here, and get rid of a few more defenses. And then the same thing, put a super giant on one side, super giant on the other one with a couple of witches behind each, and then a line of super giants, a line of witches, wall wrecker, king, queen, and warden, and go all the way in. The warden ability, you can use it nice and early. Sometimes I do use it nice and early just to save the wrecker, to make sure that it gets all the way through to the town hall. Or also when I see the warden doing warden things, which he starts wandering around and going away, then I just pop it in, because definitely the best value for the warden ability with this attack is on the wrecker. So the wrecker manages to get all the way to the town hall, and as I said before, I use the freezer for the town hall. That's gonna allow my Pekka and the witches that are in there get rid of the town hall nice and quick. And this space doesn't really have the little open compartments, but as you can see, it's completely open, so the witches just can go anywhere. Now the other good thing about this army is if all the infernos are on single. So pretty much what I look for, as I was saying before, is value against scatter shots, open walls, and single infernos. It can also be nice and strong against multi-infernos, but that's a little bit on the tougher side. And also the 10 saps and the 2 earthquake spells, if you can't get any more value than a scatter shot, then try looking somewhere else. You might be able to zap a couple of expos and a bomb tower, and that will be more value than zapping the scatter shot. So that's another thing to think about. Now here is me using the 3 Pekka version. So with the 3 Pekka version, I'm doing the same thing with the spells usually. On this base I managed to get rid of the 2 scouters and the eagle, and probably I could have gotten rid of the expo if I was a little bit better with my spells. And then the 2 normal giants on either side, pretty much like the super giant before, with a couple of witches behind. And then I put the 3 Pekkas in the center, spread out with the 10 witches behind them, and then the same thing, wall breaker, king, queen, warden, go all the way in. This one, the inferno, is hitting my wall breaker, so as soon as the warden ability goes away, I just froze it because I really wanted the wall breaker to get further inside the base. You want your army to really get in the center of the base, but as you can see here, this is a very strong army. However, to get the best value of the wall breaker, you have to come in opposite from the tank hole, and when you come in opposite from the tank hole, it's very easy to get 1 stars. So this is kind of like an all-in or nothing. So I wouldn't really suggest using this in CWL or like this style of attacking, but on Legends League, why not? You can experiment. And if you're doing it in CWL, then either look for a center tank hole, or if it's on the side, you can always use the super wall breakers, and instead of using a wall breaker, you can use a siege barracks as well with hawks inside, and that might give you a little bit more value and will be a little bit safer, and you can still get the 3-star, but you will definitely get a very nice high percentage 2-star. So this is another 3-star that I got. Now we go back to the super giants with witches. So I use a lightning spell there for the scatter and a couple of mortars, and also the expo goes down. And then on the other side we've got the scatter shot as well with an expo. So I think I was trying to figure out if I wanted the expo or if I wanted a bomb tower. Obviously with the witches you want to get rid of the splash damage, but the expos can also be quite damaging, so I decided to go for the expo. Now the tangle is all the way there to the left side, but I decided to come, as I said before, opposite from the tangle. The other reason why I'm coming this way is, as you can see, there's the 1 multi-inferno, and I want to get rid of that multi-inferno as quick as I can. So there's 2 ways where I decide where to come from. One is the most value from the wall breaker, so opening the most walls. So in this case, opposite from the tangle. As you can see, I'm facing the single inferno for the royal champ. But the other thing that I look for is where is the eagle or where's the multi-infernos. And if it's all single infernos, I try coming in through where the eagle is, just getting rid of that splash damage as soon as I can. If there's multi-infernos, I prefer coming and destroying the multi-inferno as quick as I can. I find that multi-inferno just burns through the witches very quickly as well, so I prefer doing that. Usually the eagle is targeting my hero, so that gives me plenty of time to try to get rid of it. But if there's no multi-infernos, getting rid of that eagle is my main priority. So as you can see, the wall breaker managed to get all the way to the tank hole. Tank hole goes down. The eagle is still up, but now there's a few witches and the queen. They're getting rid of it. The Wistar is the last splash damage there, and once all the splash damage is gone, it's good night to the base. The lava hand is still flying around, but that's the other thing with this army. You don't really need to bring a poison because the witches do splash damage, so they get rid of whatever comes out of the CC very quickly. Now this is one of those box bases that are quite common in Legends League at the moment. So and as you can see as well, I waited for the queen to get in between the defenses to damage her a little bit, as well as damaging the royal champion. If you can do that, like damaging any of the heroes, it's also pretty good value from your zaps. And the same thing, put the 2 giants on one side, 2 giants on the other, couple of witches behind, a couple of witches behind, create a bit of a funnel, then the Pekkas, then the witches, then the wall breakers, then the heroes, and start going in. Use the warning ability nice and early. As you can see, this was a multi-inferno, so I wanted to come through here. Also, they were going to be able to get into the eagle, so I want to get rid of that eagle nice and quickly, and managed to have my heroes and bunch of witches going in through the center of the base, which is nice. Now the wall breaker is broken, but because they don't have anywhere else to go but go through the wall, the king is gonna beat through it. And now I've got a lot of witches there, but I also have the king with ability, the queen and the warden, so the tankle beams aren't going to be killing all of my witches, which is a good thing. Tankle goes down. Now just continue, and now the royal champ is joining the main army, just coming in. Now usually the royal champ I use on the flanks, if there's no more super giants or something tanking a few of the witches that are going around, then I'll use her for that. Or also wherever there's a single inferno, I'll be sending her in just to get rid of that single inferno if I still have the freeze. As I said, it's really base dependent. Now this is another one, common Legends League base. So also with the earthquakes, I know that you're not going to be putting the eagle down, but if you can damage it, then just get the most value that you can from the spells. As in this case, I used both of the earthquakes to damage the eagle, but I also got rid of those defenses as well. Both the scatter shots are down. Now the same thing, putting super giant on one side, super giant on the other, a couple of witches behind each, and going all the way in. As you can see, I put the royal champ at 3 o'clock because I wanted her to go inside and then go in towards the single inferno. At the moment she's being tanked, so I might not even need to use a freeze for the single inferno, and it will go down. But at the moment, as you can see, this is one of the things that happens quite a fair bit as well. If the king and a pack of witches decide to start walking around, then the warden will be following them, and the wall breaker will be going by themselves. On this occasion, thanks to all the saps getting rid of their defenses there, the wall breaker got all the way through to the tank hall, so that was no problem. A few witches and super giants get to the tank hall, so the tank hall is gonna go down. And now the massive pack of witches with the heroes are walking all the way from 9, and they're gonna be going up. The last single inferno goes down, and at the moment there's only that whiz tower that is the splash damage. Once that splash damage is gone, really doesn't matter. And also, if you have a couple of witches going against the hero, they also cannot kill the witches. It's like whenever you're doing a queen walk and there's witches in the CC, if you don't have poison, the queen will never kill the witches. Well, it's the same thing in defense as it is in attack. So all these heroes, the king, the queen, the royal champion, they all die if there's 3 witches going against them. Now we've got this one again with the Pekkas, so using the saps to get rid of the bomb tower, the scatter shot, damage some of the expos, damage a little bit of the heroes, so I damaged a bit of the queen, maybe timed it a little bit badly with the royal champion, but this attack perfectly shows how it can completely go wrong and still triple. So I had my couple of giants on the other side with the witches, put the Pekkas, send my wall breaker. So far it's looking good. However, now the wall breaker is further inside and all the expos are hitting it. I was trying to use my warden ability. I thought I had clicked it perfectly, but I didn't, and the wall breaker went down, and I still had a couple of walls there before I could go all the way into the town hall. All the 4 expos are just hitting my army like crazy, but thankfully the king is there, so I use his ability just to try to get rid of those defenses a little bit faster. My roller champ, I use it to just keep clearing the single inferno and the defenses on the side there. Thankfully my army does go in and goes towards the tank hole, so now that tank hole is going to be able to go down. The Giga Blast does nothing because no one wanted to go inside into that compartment. Now my queen goes in and the single inferno is targeting her, so she's going to get roasted. Skellies pop up. I use her ability, obviously because she was going to die, but now she's going to go on the wall, and as she starts getting the single inferno, she goes down. But we still have quite a few witches just walking around the base, and a couple of the yetis from the wall breaker, and the king was still barely alive. They're all walking around. And as I said before, all these bases with those little open spaces, which basically are there to so that people that use the super wall breakers, they can't really predict where the super wall breaker is gonna go, or which wall they're gonna use. Yeah, they're really good for witches, because then the skellies, they can just go through the wall very nice and easy. There's no restrictions there, so yeah, this is another triple. This one is another one famous Legends League base, so I use this thing, get rid of the scatter shot, the inferno, get rid of the AD, why not, but it really doesn't matter, you don't have any healers on this army. So that goes down. However, I think I misclicked one of the zaps because that inferno stayed up, but that's not going to be an issue. We're still going to be able to 3-star this base. So again, the 2 giants on either side, which is behind. Then we put the 3 Pekkas on the line, which is the wall breaker, and go in. The reason why I came through here is because I want to get rid of that area with the 4 expos, the eagle, and the splash damage, i.e. the restarts first. And as I said before, trying to get as much value as I can from the wall breaker, going through as many walls as it can to go all the way to the temple. Now the CC comes out. The king is in front of the wrecker, so it's going to be able to tank the wrecker by itself. I still have the freeze. I wanted the wrecker to get a little bit further in, so I think I use it very soon. Yep, so I use it there for the tank hole, just trying to get the wrecker and some of the army to keep moving in. The wrecker manages to open the wall into the tank hole, so now is just stunned before they move in. King goes down to enemy king, but again we've got a million witches there with the skellies getting rid of the king. The tank hole goes down, the witches are still alive. Now the single is targeting my queen, but I still have her ability, so I use it. Get rid of that single inferno, get rid of the enemy queen, and pretty much there's no splash damage, and we've got a trillion witches still alive, so they can just get rid of everything else. Now with this one as well, I haven't really come across time issues. It's either lots of 3 stars, a few 1 stars, or that's it. I've had a couple of time problems, but it hasn't been too bad. Now we've got this kind of like a ring base. With that I managed to get rid of the expo, the scatter, the V-star. Lots of value from the lightning spells and the earthquake. Now I put a couple of giants there, and witches. Tesla popped up, so it killed one of my witches, but it doesn't matter. A couple of giants and the witches on the other side, the Pekkas as well, and then go in. Now the reason I'm coming through here is to try to get rid of the queen, get rid of the CC as soon as I can, and go and also because I created a bit of an internal funnel with the scatter shot, so I was hoping that that was going to be helping my army go inside. I used the freeze for the single inferno because it had targeted my wall wrecker and I didn't want my wall wrecker to die just yet. Now the Pekka is helping the wall wrecker get rid of that single inferno. The wall wrecker manages to get to the temple, it pops up, the Yetis come out. So as you can see on the CC, you can either use the Pekka, the giant and the ice golem, or you can use this one, 2 Yetis, bulk and a barb. I have even tried 2 ice golems and super wall breaker. That's also really good. You can just play around with the army and see what works for you. Yeah, so I've been using this. It's been actually quite good. As you can see, usually it's very overwhelming on the base, all the skellies. And if you can get rid of that splash damage, it's most of the time a 3-star. You just need to plan the entry really well, and pretty much every base can be 3-star by this army. Okay guys, so that is the super spam witch attack. Hope you liked it. Give it a try, very easy to use, and if you come into the town hall, an easy way of getting a high percentage 2-star as well, if you want to go safe. Or if you want to be a bit crazy like me, then you can just come in opposite from the town hall and pray for the best and get the 3-star. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. See ya.